Hello. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen yet. This is Abby. You guys know me. And I was supposed to teach about explicit instruction. Specifically, the I do, you do, we do concept. So, it's fairly simple. There's three steps, obviously. I do, you do, we do. The most important step of this is the I do part. So I'm going to read this out loud for you. This is an activity that the teacher does to model student behavior or activity. That's redundant. Anyways, ignore that. The teacher should demonstrate the skill by thinking out loud. This should be pre-planned. Here, the teacher has 100% of the responsibility. And by responsibility, I mean responsibility for learning or what is being taught. Because the teacher is teaching. So, in this case, this is the most important part, the I do. You want to make sure that you're thinking out loud as you go through the activity and you're demonstrating what happens when students will do this. When you do this, you need to have pre-planned. That says pre-planned, and this means you should not be winging it. Okay? You want to write down what you are going to say as you are teaching this. You want it fully planned out. Hi, doggy. Sit. And then the next part, sorry, my dog is being a distraction, is the we do. The we do, this is an activity that the teacher does with the class to help the students practice and become confident. Here, the responsibility is split 50-50 between student and teacher. So basically, it is important that this task almost directly mirrors the I do, as well as the you do part should directly mirror the I do part. So you are doing the same thing 3 different times, basically, but you're doing it in 3 different ways. For example, one of the videos that we were supposed to watch so that we could teach this was a literature kind of class, like an English class, and so this teacher ate something and then thought about what it tasted like. And then he handed out different things to his class. And then they would discuss what it tasted like and share it with the class. And then the you do part is this is an activity that the students complete alone. Not in a group, but alone. Here, the student has 100% of the responsibility. So this part, the room got quiet. He handed out actually 2 different items. It was an Oreo and a prune, I believe. And then the students had to write down what they were thinking, what they were feeling. Now here's some things to remember for this. We're just going to go, we're going to go through them left to right. Number 1, you should directly mirror I do. This is kind of what I was just saying. The activity should be almost the exact same. Don't overcomplicate it. It is okay if it feels like you're doing the same thing 3 times. That's part of... We're going to move my little face here. Okay, that is part of it. Number 2 on this is correct mistakes. During the we do, it is important that we are correcting the students as we go along. For example, with the literary thing, somebody said that the Sour Patch Kid tasted sour. And the teacher was like, okay, yeah, true. But that's not quite what we're looking for. We're looking for a description of what sour is, right? This is a great time to put formative assessments in this part for the we do. Differentiation. So during the you do portion is a great time to put any kind of differentiation that you might need. Sorry guys. Differentiation is basically the, goodness sakes, crazy dog. It's like when you have to change something for a student who may have a disability or think differently. This is because this is work alone time, so it's totally fine to not have the students doing the exact same thing because they aren't working with each other at this point. It can be dangerous to skip the we do, the next one. This is because students often think they understand what's going on. And so if you just show them and then let them loose and grade them on that, they could very well be doing it wrong and they would never know. So, however, often during the execution of the assignment, that was never finished. But during the execution of the assignment, the student would realize that they were doing it wrong and all of that. The last one is think aloud is an important part. When the teacher does the I do part, it is important to think aloud. Obviously, I just said that. This is what makes the difference between instruction and explicit instruction. So if you're just telling them what to do something, that's instruction. But to be explicit or specific, you have to do the think aloud. You have to tell them how to think and how you're getting from point A to point B. Let's do some questions. How much responsibility do the students have in the we do parts? We can go back and look. There it is. So the answer is 50-50 split between the teacher and the student, so the answer is 50%. Why is it considered dangerous to skip the we do part of the process? Give you a second to think. Let's go back and look. This is... Yeah, it can be dangerous to skip the we do. And that's the sentence I didn't finish, but that students... I did finish this sentence. Some students might believe they know what they're doing, but don't quite have it. The we do part helps the teachers identify the mistakes before it might affect their grade. Some answer like that. What technique takes instruction to explicit instruction, and why? Talked a little bit about this. It's in this slide. Think about it. Maybe you saw it already. Alright, let's look at it. When the teacher thinks aloud, this helps students understand and how they can think and better understand how to solve the problem. So, the technique is the think aloud part. Remember, this should be pre-planned. No winging it. And that's the next part. Note that it is important that the teacher prepares beforehand. And what they should say thinking out loud, winging it is definitely not part of the process. And that is everything I have for you guys. Thank you so much.